Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back. We've got the Yamaha FS800. Really interesting guitar. I just bought this yesterday from Long McQuaid while we were in Gravenhurst. And yeah, it's not a bad guitar. Actually, it's my replacement for my Taylor GS Mini. In case you haven't caught the video, I have a video up about how Taylor had scammed us all, every one of us, on the Taylor Family and Friend deal, which is not so friendly after all. Families and friends, buy a full-size guitar, gift the other one. Just don't ever try to part with any of them, ever. Anyways, check out that video and share the snot out of it because it's very serious what Taylor has pulled off, and as far as I'm concerned, very illegal. But they've managed to figure out some way to do things. So in the meantime, I had to replace my GS Mini with something that would still be suitable for me. I found this in Gravenhurst at Long McQuaid, and I thought, okay, sounds good, so let's give it a go. Okay, so you guys know I'm normally a lefty player. I've been dabbling off and on the right-handed world for years, and it is a struggle trying to play both ways. And so I don't pick it up every day like I probably should. But it's also hard to find an acoustic guitar that, for right-handed, fits me better, or fits me properly, in fact, because it's extremely important that, especially with an acoustic, it's actually more critical than acoustic, to be properly fitted for one, although it still is critical on an electric. Acoustics are way more serious to make sure they fit the player properly. Otherwise, yeah, it could be 10 times longer before you even get anywhere with it. Who knows, right? But if you have a proper guitar and it's set up well, you've got a better, faster chance at being successful at guitar. And I do have my struggles playing right-handed, but I'm getting better, obviously. So I want to just click over to the website for a quick sec, and we're going to go over the specs. So it's a concert small body, okay? The scale length is 25 inches. Body length is 19 and 9/16. Total length is 40 and 3/16. So it's still a full-length guitar within not quite even an inch. Either way, you're still good as a full-size guitar. It's just much smaller body. It's actually a lot more, I find a lot more comfortable actually than the Mini, because the Mini had a more robust back end, more narrower front end. And although I really enjoyed that guitar, I really loved it. I did not want to give it up, man. But I had no option otherwise given to me, which is in that video. This thing actually fits really, really well with me, so I can't complain, and it only cost me $319, so that's Canadian, and that was a great deal. So let me go over the rest of the specs here. Your string spacing is 10 millimeter, nut width 1 and 11/16. Now, it is a solid spruce top, okay? The back and side material is made out of NATO slash Okumin, or Okumi. The neck, of course, is NATO. Fingerboard is rosewood. The radius is 23 and 5/8 radius. Bridge is rosewood. The nut itself and the saddle are both made out of material called urea. The bridge pins are black ABS white dot plastic. Tuners are die-cast chrome. These are the tuners that I actually happen to like. Okay, and they work really well. I have no issues with tuning stability. They are fine. I would recommend those snugging up the nuts initially when you first get the guitar to make sure there's no loose vibration with any washers, because it's a nut and washer hold down system with a screw on the back. So you want to make sure they're snug. Don't reef the snot out of them, but snug. And you are going to need a 10mm wrench to do that properly so you don't hurt the nuts. Anyways, body binding, black. Sound hole inlay, black and white. Tortoise pattern pick guard, they say. Yep, definitely there. Body finish is completely glossed. Okay, now the neck is probably just like an oil rubbed finish or something, or a satin. It just feels naked, but it feels very nice. It's not sticky. It's very fast neck. The fretwork, of course, is amazingly good. I mean, this is a Yamaha. Yamaha knows how to make guitars. Even back in the early 80s, a beginner grade Yamaha guitar at that time, well, it set me back about my parents actually, back about $450. It was a 400 series back then. I believe it was a 410 or a 420 SLA, left-handed. That guitar lasted me a long time. It is great. And the fretwork, like I said, they're great. The fret material that they use, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's pretty hard. It's in for the long haul. I never damaged any frets on my Yamaha back in the day, and I was a much heavier gripper back then. Now I'm a much lighter touch. Anyway, so the string gauges that this thing supports are 1252 or 1253 only. Okay, so no going any heavier than the 1253s. Now you can go a lot lighter if you want. I actually have a couple sets of 1152s, which would actually quiet it down and tame it a little differently. And I do have a set of 1253s, I believe, kicking around. And then, of course, my elixirs. I'm not sure if I'm going to put elixirs on this, though. I want to use up those other strings first, so it could be quite a while before it hits elixirs. Now, they don't say what strings actually come on this thing, but the strings, in looking at the appearance of them, they are physically in fantastic condition, so I have no reason to change them right now. I'm going to play these until they're dead. But they are nice sounding, I'll give them that. It does come in different finishes. You have the natural, which is this. You have a tinted finish or a sandburst finish. Now, tinted kind of looks like this, but more of an antique-y, tinty look. And then, of course, you have a sandburst, which is quite the neat burst design. Now, they do say it does come with a hex wrench, though I didn't get a hex wrench. I got it off the wall, so they already disposed of the box, which probably had the wrench in it, and I don't know. I don't care. But you're going to need a wrench either way if you ever have to adjust the neck and you're willing to do that yourself. And I've got those, so I don't really care. I got more hex wrenches than I know what to do with. It does not come with a case either for that price. Now, as far as the price does go, that is the regular retail price. It's $319.99, so you might as well call it $320 Canadian plus tax. I think it sounds actually really good. It feels good to hold and play. You know, the action's really nice and low on this thing. And if I wanted to lower it more, I do have lots of saddle room to do that. I don't know if I would actually consider lowering it really any much further, but I'm kind of happy with the way it is, so I have no complaints. And these are, what do you call them, kidney bean little tuner knobs. They call them kidney beans. But, yeah, so you got quality tuners, you got a quality guitar, really nicely done. Now, there are some finished blems on this thing, mainly on the back where the binding is. I have found some finished blems. Now, of course, some of those may also be, maybe this thing's been played by a few people and they knocked it a couple times, but there are definitely some noticeable what would be a factory finished blem. I did notice a couple of those, and I don't honestly care. This thing is just a guitar that is going to help me to become a better right-hand player. That is my goal with it, and a couple little finished blems doesn't bother me one bit, okay? It's going to get a lot more nicks and bangs in it over the years anyways, but this is one that I would like to really keep around because it does work very well. Now there are, of course, things that you always got to know about that you got to pick on, and that's this stupid plastic strap pin. Now I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I mean, it's plastic, and I hate plastic. I try to get rid of plastic if I can. And this is one thing where, well, that's not even screwed in. If it is, there's no way to get that dot out of there to get to the screw. If there is one, I don't think we can even, no, we can't even unscrew that. So that's kind of on there. So it must be one of those push pressure pin things. Maybe, I don't know. But it's going to have to stay. There's no strap pin on the heel, which that's something that should be there. Now, I'm a firm believer you never put a strap on your neck because that can damage your guitar over time. It can also pull you literally out of tune while playing. It will. And this is why strap pins should be down here. It reduces the chance of damage over the years. Also, at least you're going to know you're always playing in tune, because when your strap is down in here to here, that neck can't shift and move around while playing. Especially if you're, even in a rested position with it, you're going to be pushing down in a rested position because that's just a normal thing. If your strap is over here on the neck, well, you're yanking sideways at the neck, which over time can damage it. But also at the same time, it throws the guitar out of tune. So keep that in mind. I would have a strap pin professionally installed. Along the side here is about the best place. I would never consider it right at the back because it's a weak spot on any guitar. They should never be there, but up in here. And I've done my own strap pin installs. I know how to do that stuff. I work on guitars too, so I'm not just a player. So I'll probably install strap pin when I get to it. But for now, it's great. I like it. It's a pretty nice guitar for $300. Great beginner guitar for sure, definitely. No electronics either, by the way. You're not getting electronics for $300 in a Yamaha. But you can certainly have that put in later on if you wanted to. The potential's there because, yeah, there's nothing there now. So if you want to put something in later, you can. Get a Fishman Neo D pickup, or, that goes in the sound hole, or some other sound hole pickup if you wanted to. I personally don't like them. They're nothing but a pain in the butt. I would actually professionally install a preamp and an under the saddle pickup in there, which is probably what I may do someday if I decide to, but likelihood is I probably won't. Eventually I'll just upgrade to something with electronics already there, because I'm looking at the value of the guitar right now versus, maybe 3-4 years down the road. I mean, the thing's not going to be worth a ton. So yeah, it's kind of like, I'm not going to really invest in doing that. I don't feel like it. So besides, I'm just trying to teach myself how to play this. And I do have a right-handed SG electric guitar if I want electrified stuff anyway. But pretty good. So they do not make this in left-handed, just so you're aware. They only have it in right-handed. That is the one thing about it too. But hey, you know what? Not all companies make guitars left and right. Yamaha doesn't make much in the way of lefties, but other companies do make everything left and right-handed, like Martin and Taylor and many other companies. Yeah, overall, I'd say it's a win-win for $300. I mean, you can't really go wrong as long as it fits your body properly. Okay, so this is not for kids. This is more for like young women, young men, like teenage boys that have the body to handle this. That sort of thing. I can play a full-size dreadnought without any issue left-handed. Right-handed, I've tried dreadnoughts and it's nailing some kind of a nerve and cramping me up. So I actually need something more of the smaller size for me for the right-handed thing, and I'm okay with that. Doesn't bother me. But yeah, anyways, so that's what we got, and that's what our score is on it. And check them out at your local Long McQuaid. I will put the link that shows all three guitars. Okay, it'll be the Long McQuaid link for Canada. you know what, if you're not in Canada, just go check out Guitar Center or whatever music store you happen to go. If you don't have a Long McQuaid near you, but you do have another dealer near you that does sell Yamaha, well, you'll have to go in and see them. But do make sure you physically check one out. Don't just order one of these things blindly and think it's going to work for you. Go into the store and try one out and see if you like how it feels and plays and how it sounds, that sort of thing. And yeah, pretty much all that's a win-win for me. So, but with only a couple of little blems, no big deal. I don't really care. Doesn't bother me at all. And like I said, make sure you check those nuts and just give them a light snug. That's all they need. And that's going to change with humidity between seasons too. So, you know, don't go crazy with tightening them. Just a little bit of snugness, enough to say, oh, it feels like it's getting a little tight. And that's all you need, and you're fine. Go overboard, you'll snap the headstock. I've seen people do it. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching and hanging out. And we'll check you on the next one. See ya.